Welcome back to Don't Be Shy podcast, and today we're with a very special guest, Dan. Thank you for coming in today, Dan. You know what I'm saying? I hope you like and share, subscribe to the channel so we get more important guests like this young entrepreneur. And to my right, we've got Quams, and to my left, we've definitely got
Dan.
So today we're going to speak about how Dan has made Soul Cube into this massive brand. Do you know what I'm saying? So start off, what does Soul Cube mean to you, the actual name, the purpose?
Soul Cube. What it means to me is obviously started it during the pandemic. Started it up from nothing. Like me and my friend Aidan, obviously we come up with the idea that we needed a shoe storage system. We didn't have one, so come together and built Soul Cube. Yeah.
What does like Soul Cube mean?
As in it's
like what's the behind for the people who don't know about Soul Cube?
Yeah.
What's the meaning behind it?
Meaning behind it, yeah. Well, meaning behind it is, I'd say, like the ultimate sneaker storage. That's the way I'd put it. Like it's the go-to for shoe storage. You know, there's plenty of people, they have the shoes scattered about. They're not on display. They're just tucked away, hidden. So Soul Cube would be like the number one shoe storage solution.
Fair enough. So when you started in the pandemic,
yeah,
who was the first person you went to with this idea?
Well,
you and Aidan.
Yeah, so I'll go like how we started it. We're both on furlough during the pandemic. I was an engineer, and I was only like 3 or 4 months into my apprenticeship, and then obviously lockdown come, and then I got furloughed. I'm still on apprentice wage as well, so only like getting 80% of like 500 quid, I think. So I was on furlough, and then I was like selling some of my own shoes on Instagram, like parts of my own collection. And then Aidan, we just followed each other on Instagram. Like we didn't actually know each other, you know, you just have them people that following it from your area. And then like we just got chatting about shoes, and he seen I was selling some shoes, and then he's like, oh, let's like get our heads together and sort of think something up. And then we're both sort of like, well, we've got all these shoes, but we have nowhere to store them. So we met up, had some food and that, and then we like just sort of brainstormed ideas together. Like, oh, like let's call it Soul Cube. Let's like obviously design the logo. Like obviously we wanted to find make some proper boxes as well. Like because there already was a box at the time on the market, but you couldn't fit Jordan 1 highs in it. And obviously Soul Cube, you can put Jordan 1 highs in it. So that was like and obviously it's in 2020 when the Last Dance documentary come out, and obviously Jordan 1 hype was like through the roof. Like everyone was going mad for them. So we just met up, put the ideas together, got the first lot of stock in my nana's spare bedroom, and then like obviously set a website up together, Instagram, and then I think we only started with like 250 quid each. Little small investment, but obviously still a lot of money when you're on furlough and you've not got much of an income. So then we got cracking ever since then. We just kept building the brand. Yeah.
So before you actually started this idea, you didn't know who Aidan was. Like he was just a complete stranger, someone you just had on Instagram.
Yeah, like I don't think we'd ever met before. It's just like we had each other on Instagram, probably liked each other's photos or something. Like I knew like who he was, but I'd never met him or spoke to him. But then obviously because I was doing my thing, selling my own shoes on Instagram, and he's into fashion and shoes, so he'd message me like, oh, like that pair's nice. And he sold a bit of shoes and a few bits of clothing as well, like on Depop, and so we just got chatting through that, and then that's when we sort of both were like, let's work together, because we would get on well as well. So like obviously made that connection, and like we were just not just business partners, like we were actually sort of like friends as well. Like we can meet up outside of Soul Cube and go for drinks, and so yeah.
No, that's good, because that clearly shows how powerful social media is.
Yeah.
Like you're using that to network. You know, obviously Instagram is for looking at photos, etc.
Yeah.
You're using that to network, and then look, you've come up with this idea from literally speaking to someone on social media.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool, isn't it? You can connect so many dots together just through messages. Like
I've got to give you your good congratulations, because to set up a business through pandemic, it must have been difficult. Everyone's on furlough. So how did it feel executing it? And then obviously throughout the pandemic, you've got an article written about you at Soul Cube.
Well, yeah, obviously it's a tough time to start a business, especially when there's so many like businesses like struggling, and you know, there's the whole world struggling. Like I was struggling, mum's struggling, like everyone around us was struggling. And so to actually build a business, I guess, is sort of the best time to do it, but also the worst, because obviously the shipping costs were through the roof. Shipping times were like doubled.
Time was horrible, innit?
Yeah.
So Royal Mail was just letting us down.
Yeah, Royal Mail, that was bad. And then obviously getting containers flown over from where the manufacturer is, it was chaos. But I'm sort of glad we started it at the worst time to do it, because if we had all them issues now, we might, as we've grown, it might have affected the business more. Like we had the shipment issues and the shipping cost issues early, so we've got over them before we've like sort of got bigger. So now if they happen, we easily know how to deal with them.
Overcome the hurdles.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, because to be honest, through your journey now, you're not really gonna get a harder time than the pandemic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's an unusual time for everybody, and like you said, you was facing, realistically, circumstances that should never happen again, really.
Yeah.
So
hopefully not.
Yeah. So I feel like it shows like your determination and your commitment to come out on the other end.
Yeah, you just got to never give up in it, especially when things aren't going your way or it's going against you.
What obviously you touched a little bit, but what are some of the challenges you faced like during the pandemic while building your business?
Definitely like the shipping times. Obviously, I think it was like the worst time to sort of import goods or get goods into the country. Obviously, the price of the containers, I think, were at the highest they've ever been, and then shipping times, and then if you've got, luckily we were still at a small, like we're at a smaller scale then, like much smaller scale then, so we weren't doing what we do now in terms of getting stock in. But obviously when we were first getting stock in, we were only getting a little bit, but we still had them big waiting times, like crazy amount of days, and then we had people pre-ordering stock, like but they were all prepared to wait, so that we were lucky in that sense. So thank you everyone who waited for the sell queues when we were first starting. We had to wait a lot, and then obviously shipping containers were expensive, but that's all calmed down now, thankfully, and it's beginning to sort of mellow out.
And obviously, Prince, you touched a little bit on it about the article.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Obviously, for those you don't know, obviously you was in Yorkshire Evening Post, etc. Numerous of articles. How did that feel like getting your recognition for being in that, for doing what you're doing?
Yeah, no, it's nice, like getting sort of a bit of recognition, especially from like a local newspaper like in Leeds. It's good to like people sort of give you a pat on the back, you know what I mean? It's also, my nana reads the paper in it, so when she's seen it, like it's nice that she could see it and like, you know, smile about it. So yeah, it's all good. Anything positive like that it's nice, isn't it? It's just a reminder of why you like sort of keep going in it, like, yeah.
So briefly speaking about positivity, so what's what positive has that brought to your life, Soul Cube, and the people you've met, and how you network better now than when you first started?
Obviously because it's sort of the first business I've ever sort of started, so it's taught like massive lessons, not just in like the business side of things, but also like your social side of things. Like when you're obviously meeting new people, you've got to articulate yourself a certain way, like better, more. I've like definitely gained more confidence in speaking with people, reaching out to people, like, and just sort of changing my whole mindset, and you know, just thinking every day is like you sort of working towards goals, and it gives you some structure, especially when you're working to like build a brand. And say that's one of the good positive thing like Soul Cube's brought is you have a structure and a focus. Like when you wake up, it's like, right, I need to do this, need to meet him, need to sort this. So it gives you definitely like working towards something. It's nice to see it growing, like when you're putting in the work.
That's good. So briefly speaking about the new people you've met, have you got any like VIP clients or? We started, obviously a lot of rappers have Soul Cube. We had like Russ Millions recently, he got like 200 boxes, he's got a crazy kit collection. We've had Pot of Paper, Tunde, Leaks from 6'7", Sonny Edwards, the world champ boxer, he got some. I think I seen Rimsey.
Rimsey got some, met him, he was a nice guy. There's definitely a few. Slim's got some. met him recently. So yeah, it's nice to be able to. Obviously, I listen to UK music. I'm a big fan of it. So when sort of people you grew up listening to are using your product to style their shoes, obviously it's a good feeling.
How did you build that connection with some of them artists?
Yeah, like funny enough, it were just started with. Just was at work one day and like obviously listening to rap music, and you see all the music videos like they've all got Jordans, like DR runners, like nice shoes. And I was just thinking like they need soul cubes basically, like they need them to store the shoes. So I just went on Snapchat, DM'd like 50 artists, and then obviously some didn't get seen because they're not going to get seen in it. And then like Leaks from 6'7" replied and was like, yeah, I'll have some of them. Like, so I went through, met him in Brixton. That was the first VIP client we met. And then Sleeks from Section Boys, he replied as well, sent him some. So just started with that, and then went on Instagram, just literally DM'd artists, was like, yo, can we send you some of our boxes, or would you like to buy some of our boxes, do you sort of a discounted deal in return for some promo? And then they're like, yeah, let's do it. And then just since then, each time we've got one, it's got bigger and bigger. And then obviously biggest artist recently is Russ. That was a good one because we've been trying to get him the boxes for a long time. So that was a big W for us.
So you literally just shoot your shot?
Yeah, just getting the DMs. But obviously a lot of people think don't like to do that in case you get rejected or they say no. But exactly, we've probably had a lot of DMs that haven't been seen or open, but it's like if you get one artist gets some, that's like
that's someone you've completely new networking.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how it started. And obviously some people now reach out to us as we're growing bigger, and then they see other artists with them. They'll be like, oh, I want the boxes that Russ has, or I want the boxes that Pot of Paper has. Like, what are they? And then obviously they tell their friends in it, and then they'd order on the website.
So what I'm seeing is that you're very committed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Determination. For you to come from Leeds, to go down to Brixton, to come back to meet them all, you know what I'm saying? Shows very good determination and commitment, and you're persistent with it.
Yeah.
And because you were persistent with it, that's how it's grown from the first day to now.
We've had to put in sort of a lot of long drives to London, drop the boxes off to an artist, and then come back, like just same day. Sometimes got the train, then come back, or the coach even, got the coach, come back on the coach the same night just to drop off like some boxes. But it's worth it, innit? You've got to put in the groundwork to
get where you need to be.
And we're still not where we need to be either. But obviously, because we're putting in the work, you get getting levels each time. Like, you've got to keep building, stay consistent.
Obviously, I wanted to touch on this one. Obviously, not just you started at a difficult time. Where you started was also unusual, you could say. Yeah. Could you touch on that a little bit, please?
Yeah. So I was. We got our first shipment in, and then we had all these boxes sort of coming to like they got them sent to Aiden's house, like all these boxes, and they're in his garage for like a few days, and then he couldn't keep them there because obviously his family uses his garage, he's got a car in it, and then my nana was like, oh, you can put the boxes in my spare bedroom, so drove the boxes to hers, and then for like the first a year and a half of Soul Cube, it was ran from my nana's spare bedroom. Like, all the orders were packed in there, they were stored in there, like, so we were constantly up and down the stairs, like 3 flights of stairs, carrying heavy boxes. But I'm thankful that she obviously let us use it, because we wouldn't have actually been able to afford storage at first. So like she sort of, bailed us out a lot.
You know what you should do? Nana should be the gaffer.
Yeah, no,
she should be the gaffer. Shout out Nana.
Shout out Nana. She helps a lot, man. If you go on the social media post, you'll see her flying the Soul Cube flag, man. She's on that commission, isn't it?
Always the commission's
She's
key.
on the commission.
So talking about just Soul Cube.
Yeah.
You've recently got a new investor that just started to invest. He was a customer.
Yeah.
So what made him, obviously he's not here, Dan.
Yeah.
So what made him turn into a customer and think, right, this business is where I want to invest? What do you think sold him?
Yeah. So he saw the news article that we featured in. I think it was the Christmas give back one. So we went to Leeds City Centre and gave out like gifts at Christmas and gave back to the community. And then he'd seen the article, and then I think it was his kids basically needed some boxes, so he ordered some boxes, and then we met him in person, and then he's like, oh, like I really like this idea you've got. Like I really like the brand. I've seen like what you've built from where you started. I've read like the articles. Let's sort of speak. So I went and met him, had a coffee and that, and then he sort of explained his background. He'd come from marketing. He's ran businesses before. Like he's had a good career, and then he could see the vision of the brand. And then just through speaking to him and everything that he was wanting to contribute to the brand, it like made sense to like obviously have him on board. And since he's come in, the business has grown massively. Obviously he's got a lot more experience than us, and then so we all help each other with different sort of tasks of the business. But he's definitely it's good how he's actually come from a customer to an investor as well, because he's obviously had the product, he knows the quality, and he's needed it. And then he's liked it that much that he's decided to invest his money and be part of the team. It's not something you often see in business. You usually see like an investor that sort of doesn't have the product and then just invest.
So how did that make you feel? Do you know what I'm saying? Like a customer appreciating it so much that he wanted to be an investor, thinking, right, this is what I want to put my money into.
Yeah, it's good because that sort of being like not a goal from the start, but obviously we've focused on building the brand up. Like if you look back at early posts and how we've sort of pushed social media, like we've always wanted to push the brand, push Soul Cube. So they wanted to make it more valuable in the word Soul Cube. So it's definitely a nice feeling when someone wants to join the team and help and invest and put their money in, especially because of how little investment we started with as well. Like it's a big difference.
You see, with yourself and Soul Cube, it sounds like you're very open-minded to working with people as long as they've got the same vision and they're on the same wavelength as you. Obviously, you and your original partner, obviously you met through social media, and now once again this is your customer. So it seems like you're just quite open.
Definitely work. Like if anyone's on the same sort of path as we are, then usually somehow I end up meeting as well. Like even like you guys, like you're building your podcast up, like you're pushing your brand, like you're from Leeds, so like we've now met each other, like done this and it's like
connection in
doing that with like other people in Leeds as well. Got my guy Andy, Status Sneakers in Leeds, he's got a shoe shop, so like met him just through sort of two entrepreneurs, like sort of trying to build a brand in it. So I think when you've got that vision, you end up meeting people with the same wavelength as you, and then you just help each other grow in it. It's what you got to do.
100%. I think that's how I originally heard about yourself, like through trainers.
Yeah, trainers.
Yeah. Obviously, you was selling trainers also. We were selling trainers, so now 100% I agree. And obviously now we've met up to talk about how you've progressed.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question as well, Dan? It's since you're an entrepreneur, like what 3 things would you give to the people that want to start up a business? You know what I'm saying, in the same industry as you, or just any industry?
I'd just say like if you've got an idea, you've got to try it. Like the amount of times people have ideas, it's like even myself when I was younger, you're getting them. You guys might have had ideas, then you never start it because of like maybe doubts in your mind, or friends or family might be like, oh, don't do that, but you can't really listen to them, because I'm sure when I've probably gone to my friends when we started this idea, like a couple of people might have said, oh, why would you start that? You know what I mean? So you don't listen to others, like unless it's genuine advice. That's people put your feelings first. So you never give up. You're gonna face a lot of issues, and we've still got issues to face. Like I know there's gonna be issues along the way, but we're ready to deal with it. So I'd say you've got to never give up when you get struck by the first hurdle, and then I'd say like stay consistent with what you do. There's other people that are trying to sort of build their stuff as well. Like you got to think there's people that are going to be competing against you. You've got to work overtime. You've got to do that extra hour that you don't want to do, to get off that hour early to sort of do what you need to do and just stay ahead of the game.
Competition's good though, because it brings the best out of you.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It pushes you to another level. And like you're saying, like it makes you stay consistent. You don't get complacent, which I'm sure obviously you're very hard working, you won't do anyway. Yeah. But like you said, like it might even bring the best out of you where you didn't even know you could do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely good to have healthy competition, definitely.
What's your plan? Obviously, we're halfway through the year. What's your plan like towards for the rest of the year, if you could say?
Yeah, just to sort of keep doing what we're doing, but each time just keep upping the levels, like sort of the same plan we're sort of on, but each time just like a little bit better, a little bit extra, like go that extra mile. Probably got some new stuff coming out before the end of the year, so keep an eye on the page, people, for what's coming.
Sure. Soul Cube, make sure you
go follow that.
Check it out. Make sure you like, share and subscribe, and make sure you keep following Soul Cube. I wanted to ask one question again, Dan. It's just, obviously, when you first started, it was in your nana's spare room.
Yeah.
So where do you keep all the storage now?
We've got a film.
Yeah, we want to know where.
No.
No, not the exact place.
The exact location. Yeah.
Valley.
Yeah, they've got some iron guards. We've got a fulfillment team now, so obviously when people are ordering now, like orders are going out same day, like we've got that all patterned properly. So there's a fulfillment team, we've got a fulfillment centre, and then they're working hard getting all these orders out, because like we're growing a nice level now, so we're getting more and more orders. So it was getting too much to send orders out from my nana's spare bedroom, and we wanted to make sure everyone's getting out the same day. As you grow, as your sort of brand grows and you get bigger, you've got to make sure everything else is running smoothly. You don't want to be getting 100 orders a day and then struggling to get them out. You've got to make sure everything stays on a good level.
So is it hard to maintain then that consistency, or is it just something that just comes naturally now? Because
I think because like there's 3 of us, and obviously we all have different skill sets and different sort of stuff that we bring to the table. It's definitely much easier. Like I think it'd be a proper struggle if I was doing everything by myself. Like it would be almost too much where you need to employ someone. But because there's 3 of us, I think we all manage it pretty well, because we all pick sort of the tasks to do throughout the day. So like Dan might do one section, Aidan might do one section, I do the other section, like that. Yeah.
Dan, since you're into shoes, what's your favourite purchase?
Ooh. Favourite pair?
Yeah, your favourite pair you've ever bought?
Yeah. Say it's the Jordan 1 Lost and Found Chicago. That's a special pair for any sneakerhead. It's like an iconic pair that they brought back. So I picked that up recently. They're going straight on ice. I think I'm gonna double up and get a pair to wear and then a pair to save. So they're definitely my favourite.
And another one.
I'd say I would ask, what's a pair of trainers that you've missed out on, or you chose not to buy that you wish you did?
Probably the original Spider-Man Jordan 1s that I did in 2018.
Okay.
I think they're like £500 or £600 now. And I've got the new pair here, which I picked up. I've got 2 pairs of them, pair to wear, pair to save, but I want the original ones that they brought out in, it was 2018, but I missed them and didn't get them. And like now, they're silly money, so I might have to wait till I'm a millionaire to cop them.
Once you miss the trainers,
I know you got to be on it quick after you miss it to try sort of.
I'm kind of retail price-ish, innit?
And then if you wait too long, especially 5 years, then you're just not getting them.
So what trainers have you purchased and then sold and you've regretted selling?
Good question, that actually. Probably the metallic purple 4s. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like they were a USA pair, and I got them for a pretty good price, and then I sold them for a decent price. But now I'm looking at them like online and on StockX. I'm thinking I'd actually like to just have them in the collection. So probably them, I'd say.
If you need them sourcing, Socket Sneakers.
You get a discount.
Just don't be shy in the little comments below. Then obviously be a discount.
50% off.
50% off. Say just no prints, maybe 70% off. You know what I'm saying?
I have to hit them up.
You're gonna have
15.
Anyways, lads, it was nice today. Nice being back, and we're better. Thank you, Dan. Honestly, thank you for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
Make sure you check out Soul Cube on Instagram. Thank you, Kwame.
Every time.
So make sure you subscribe to the channel so we get more important guests like Dan in. Peace out.
Boom.
Bam.